In today's tutorial, let's do the crochet tasseled throw. This has a bit of texture and another free pattern by Yarnspirations.com. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the crochet tassel throw. This has a bit of texture to it. Very simple. I love this design. It is so simple but it looks so fabulous. And then you can polish it off with some tassels here within the Gray family in order to make it work. This is really a simple pattern. Today I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to change the sizes, and of course I'll show you how to do tassels as well. So within today's pattern you're going to notice that it's a repeat of only 2 rows. So 2 and 3 keep getting repeated over and over. And when you look at a finished example just like you see here, you'll notice that it's got a tilt in either direction. It's really neat and it's not hard to follow, and I really like this design for its simplicity. Now say you don't want to make an afghan that's 56 inches by 62 and you want to do something smaller. The multiples on this, I figured it out, were multiples of 10 plus 6. So you chain in multiples of 10, so 10, 20, 30, 40, and then once you're satisfied with that you add 6 to the chain in order to keep the balance that you see within the project. You're going to need a 5.5mm size eye crochet hook today, and we're going to be using Caron 1-pound yarn in order to being able to feature this project. So you'll get a lot of usage out of this, and for the whole big size of itself, the dark gray, 3 balls, and then just if you want to do the tassel work, of course it's 1 ball. And the tassel work at the end will come at the end of this video. So let's begin. Let me show you how to do this. So let's begin to do this pattern. So the multiples, as I said, is 10 plus 6. So multiples of 10. So keep going in tens, and then add 6 at the end, or you can just follow the pattern and it's 156. So what you can do is that I'm just going to do the multiples of 10 as a sample, and you just want to chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So either do chaining of 10 plus 6 or do 156, and I'll see you at the end of that chain. For myself I'm doing the multiples of 10, so I have 20 here on the chain already, and when I'm satisfied with the length I just have to add 6. So that's your multiples of 10 plus 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's go for row number 1. Second chain from the hook, so 1 and 2, count back, just get the back loop only, and I want you to single crochet in each of the chains going all the way across. So just going across your chain as a single crochet in order to get your pattern established. And I'll see you at the end of this chain. So now that my chain is complete, just like you see here, so rows number 2 and row number 3 are different from each other. The only difference is that the slanting is occurring based on the stitching. So in row number 2 we're always going to start off with 5 single crochets in a row and then do the double crochet back loop for 5, and then so on. So then in row number 3 what happens is that because you finished with the single crochet at the end, the next one is going to be starting with the double crochet back loops and then going to single crochet. So it's just a matter of they're doing opposite each other in order to create this look. So let's begin our work then. For row number 2 we're going to turn our work, and so we just chain up 1 to begin, and then for the first 5 it's just single crochet. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very simple, just like that. So the next 5 are double crochet back loops. So what you want to do is wrap the hook. Now if you're new to crochet there's always 2 strings. The one that's furthest away from you right over here of the 2 strings is the back loop. The one that's closest to you is the front loop. So you want to double crochet in the back loop only. So wrap the hook, and for the next 5 is that you're going into the back loop only for double crochet. So that was 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 5. Nice and simple, right? So now that you got those 5, you will see that it looks unstable. It's getting that tilting look as I mentioned already. So the next 5 are going to be single crochets. So using both loops, so just regular stitches, it's just going to be single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here's the tip. Whenever you're doing single crochet on this, you're just doing it both in just a regular stitch. Whenever you're doing the double crochets, it's always in the back loop. So the next 5 are going to be in the back loops of double crochet. So just going in the back loops for another 5. So 1, and it's just alternating in 5s between single crochets and double crochets into the back loop. So this is 3, 4, and 5. So you're going to eventually go all the way down to your chain. You'll be 5 left over, and that's your single crochets right at the very edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that was row number 2. So you look at it here, it looks like it's kind of warping when you look at it from this perspective. That's okay. That's what's creating the nice beautiful texture. So let's turn our work and go for row number 3. So let's turn our work and go for row number 3. So whenever you finish with a single crochet in the last row, the first 5 are going to be double crochets in the back loop. So we're going to have to chain 3, which counts as the first double crochet, and then we come into the next one and go into the back loop only for a double crochet, and we do only the first 4 like that, because that chaining of 3 counts as one of the double crochets. Okay, so you're going in there and you're going to want to count. So I've got 4 in there so far because I can physically see that, but I would have counted if it was not here on camera. Okay, so I got 5 into the back loop. Now the next 5 are just single crochets. So do you see that they are here as the double crochet back loops, those 5? So this time they become single crochets this time. So just into both strands, both strings, just as a regular stitch for 5 single crochets in a row. Once you get those 5 done, you're back to a back loop double crochet. So you can see that the next 5 are single crochets in the row below, but this time they're going to be double crochet back loops. So you just keep working your way across back and forth in the same fashion, and you just have to pay attention to how you start and which is underneath the row below you. So now I got 4 in there. This is the 5th. So you can either count by 5 or you can visually look at it. So the next one here, do you see that there's 5 double crochet back loops? So this time it's 5 single crochets. It's nice to have that visual cue instead of always having to count frantically all the time. So you got your 5 in there. Now the final 5, they're single crochets last time, but this time they become a back loop double crochet, and you do all those right to the very end. Okay, so you see how to do that? So now you're gonna just go back to row number 2, so you do the last one as a back loop double crochet as well. I'm gonna just verify that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and there you go, just like that. So you can see it's starting to materialize right before your eyes. So turning your work, so the last time you were in back loops double crochets, you see that there. This time they're gonna be single crochets. So chain 1 and 1 single crochet into each of the next 5. So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I can see the visual cue. The next 5 are single crochets from before. This time they're back loop double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what's that mean? We're switching back to single crochets for another 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switching back to double loops, or sorry, double crochet in the back loop for 5. So this is number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the final here is into the 5 single crochets in a row. So this is 2, 3, 4, and this is gonna be 4, and don't forget you got that one in the turning chain, which is your 5th one right there. Okay, so that's all you got to do. So in the next part of this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to do the tassels. You can do this for a total of 62 inches in the height if you want to match it, or just go as long as you want to, and if you want to change sizes, of course the multiples were 10 plus 6. So let's move on to show you how to do tassels next.
Hey there, and welcome to Yarnspirations.com. Let's talk tassels, specifically the glorious fat tassel that we're going to attach to the Keep It Simple Knit Super Scarf. I used Bernat roving, and following the instructions in the pattern, I cut a piece of cardboard that was 10 inches tall. Now the width doesn't matter a whole lot, but you want it wide enough that the tassel, while you're making it, doesn't fall off the side. So wider is better, width doesn't really matter. To get started, all I'm going to do is pull my yarn out of the skein, and I'm going to hold it at the bottom of the cardboard with my thumb. It doesn't matter if it hangs off a little bit, we can trim that up later. And now I'm going to wrap it 60 times according to the pattern. Now I don't want to pull super tight, because if I do that, it's going to shorten up a little bit when the yarn snaps back, and I want that tassel to be long and lovely, but I don't want it too loosey-goosey either. So just wrap the yarn as it would normally lay. Not too tight, not too loose, and keep it focused on the center of your cardboard. Now, the pattern says to wrap it 60 times, and I know that you do not want me to wrap it 60 times on camera, so here's one I did ahead of time. So you can see it's big and fat, and I have 60 wraps on there. All I'm going to do now is cut the yarn that's attached to the skein and leave it hanging. The next thing I'm going to do is cut a good long piece, maybe 15-16 inches of the yarn, so I can secure the top. All I need to do is get it under all of those wraps. See, I'm sliding it under, and I'm pulling it to the very, very top, and get it so the sort of the center of the yarn is right under the tassel, and tie it very tightly at least twice. So one really tight. I'm using just an overhand knot, but I want to make sure this doesn't fall apart when I take it off the cardboard. So make sure that first knot is really tight, and then boom, make the second knot tight. Now the next thing I'm going to do is cut across the bottom. In the same way I got the yarn under the fold, I want to get the scissor under the fold. You got to get it all the way under there and as close to the edge as you possibly can. Just cut it across. Now it doesn't matter if it's not completely perfect, because you will even it up when you're done. Okay, now I can dispose of the cardboard. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to cut one more really long piece of yarn to finish off the top. Again, too long is easy, too short is problematic. So I'm holding my knot at the top, and I want to keep those strands off to the side because I'm going to use those to attach the tassel to the scarf. I'm going to go maybe 1.5 inches down. Going to leave some yarn hanging, and I'm going to wrap right over my fingers at least twice, but more is better. 2, let's do 3 or 4. 3, 4. Okay, and I tightened it up so that that top of that tassel puffs out very nicely. Now I'm going to find the other end, the end I started with. And I'm going to cut off some excess just so it's easier to work with. And I'm going to I'm going to tie 2 knots. 1, 2. Now all I need to do with that excess yarn, I don't have to weave it in or anything crazy like that. I can just leave it hanging and neaten it up. So there's my tassel. Once again, keeping my strands that I'm going to attach with up to the top so I don't cut them. I can look at the bottom, and just if anything's hanging out and makes me unhappy, and just trim it off with the scissors. Also, as you wear your scarf, because you're going to get a lot of wear out of this scarf, if the ends get a little ragged, you just trim them off. So there is our tassel for the Keep It Simple knit super scarf. So now I have this very cool tassel that I made, and I want to attach it to our Keep It Simple knit super scarf. I have to tell you that tassel attachment is more of an art than a science, so I'm going to show you how I would do it, but if you find a different or better way, knock yourself out. What you don't want to have to do is to weave in 12 million ends. So we left that long strand on the top to attach with. I'm going to grab the place where I want to attach the tassel, and I'm just going to stick a crochet hook in it. It doesn't matter what size crochet hook. I wanted a pretty sizable one because this is pretty thick yarn. So I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to stick my crochet hook through the center of the tassel where we put the original strand. I'm going to pull it through. Again, if it's not exactly in the center, not a big deal. You just want to get it through in there so it's sturdily attached. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it through one more time. This time I'm going to go this direction. Again, more art than science. The idea is merely that it's on there in a pretty sturdy fashion. And now to get rid of these extra ends, I'm going to try and hide them right in here. So I'm going to put the hook from bottom to top through the strand that is holding the top of the tassel together. And I'm going to pull it through. Not too tight. You don't want to pull on too tight because you want it to be masked in there. You don't want it to show up. And then just to keep things safe and sturdy, one last time I'm going to go from bottom to top under that double wrapped strand and pull the loose edges in to secure that, make them hang out nice. Okay, and they can just hang out inside the tassel and you'll never see the difference. If they're too long, if they're hanging out down here, just go back and trim them. So now my tassel is attached to my super scarf. Thanks so much for joining us.
So that's it for now. This is how to do the crochet tasseled throw. It's really quite an easy throw. It's really quite an easy pattern to be able to follow. You can just top it off with those tassels and have a good time at the same time. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as thecrochetcrowd.com. Have a good one. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.